Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a absolute roller coaster of a world record where the world's first round 600 has just been achieved on Cold War Zombies. But not only that, it was done in 4-player, which for most world record high round runs is just unheard of. And considering the nature of Cold War Zombies and its stability, even getting this high of a round on solo hasn't happened yet. So how this has happened on 4-player is an incredible story. I got quite a few tweets about this historic game being streamed on Twitch, so I hit up the group who have now become legends in the high round community, and they were more than happy for me to share their historic achievement with you guys, as well as talk to me directly and interview the whole group for this video. So before we go any further, I want to give a huge congratulations to Intuit Scott, Poomda 11, NotAJ, and zSpyda, who were the 4 gentlemen who have achieved this incredible world record. I'll have their Twitch links in the description. Once you're finished watching this video, please go and check them in the description box and hit them with a follow. And I just want to make absolutely clear to you that the footage you're seeing in this video is from all 4 of their perspectives, streamed from the very beginning of the game all the way to the end, that they have very kindly compiled and have given me permission to use in this video. Now, these guys are no strangers to zombies records and world records, with Intuit Scott having the world record for highest round on Dead of the Night, Blood of the Dead, Ancient Evil, and Alpha Omega on solo with classic elixirs. Poomda having several speedrun world records on D Machina. Spyda also having several speedrun records, as well as the world record highest round on Cold War Zombies with no armor. And NotAJ for having several flawless records and co-op high round runs. And we'll be talking to them in just a little bit, but let's go over this historic world record Cold War Zombies run. Now, not only did these guys achieve the world's first round 600 in Cold War Zombies, but they also achieved the fastest round 100 4-player time, as well as the fastest round 200 4-player time, as well as the flawless round 244 in 4 players. And not only that, but they're the world's first 4-player game to hit round 512, meaning they got to round 255 twice. Absolutely bonkers. Now, the footage speaks for itself on the strategy. The penthouse with Ring of Fire and the ray gun is just top tier. This is the best spot to be out of anywhere on the map, just due to how fast the zombies spawn and how quickly you can wipe them out. Now, this high round strat created by MC Zombie Slayer has been used by tens of thousands of players, solo and co-op, to achieve high rounds. So how come no one has ever gotten to round 600 before? And the answer to that, my friends, is crashes, error messages, console freezes. There's so many things that can jeopardize and end your game. But these guys went above and beyond to make sure that their game didn't crash. So to set the scene here, Intuit Scott was playing on a PS4 Pro and was the host of the game. One other player was on PlayStation, while the other 2 were on PC, all through the power of crossplay. Now, what you saw just then was them getting all 4 ray guns in their game at various rounds, because that is the first step towards this high round strategy, is of course getting the ray gun. But like I said, up until round 244, they were flawless. No downs were had whatsoever, until unfortunately Poomda took the first down, but that's fine. But for those of you who aren't familiar with how the round counter works in high round runs, let me explain it very quickly. The round counter only goes up to round 255. So once you hit 255, the round actually completely disappears for 256. And once you complete that round, the counter comes back, starting again at round 1, but actually you're on round 257. So most streamers just add a 255 plus on their screen, which is what we're seeing here. But pretty much everyone playing, apart from the host Scott, had tons of error messages where their game would crash, they'll be kicked out of the game. It's not ideal, but with how Cold War Zombies works, they could join back into the game. And that's something you just can't do with a solo game. Once it's over, it's over. And we'll go into a lot more depth about this when I interview the group, but one of the guys in the game, Poomda, actually went out and bought a PlayStation 4 and swapped from playing on PC to a PlayStation 4 during the middle of round 400 plus, all because he couldn't reconnect on the PC version of Black Ops Cold War. Like, if that's not dedication to the cause, then I don't know what is. I've never heard such a crazy story in all my life. Now, these guys played this game of zombies for 70 hours of in-game time, which is absurd. They started their game on the 23rd of December 2020. They played all through Christmas, and they finally finished their game today on the 30th, a whole week later on round 601. So looking at this golden final round of round 601, why did their game end? Why didn't they continue to get to, you know, an even crazier round like perhaps round 700? Well, their 4th player player errored out of their game, which was their 17th overall error, and a new playlist update went live, which prevented him from joining back to the game since they were technically on an older version of the game. So with that in mind, they thought they can't continue this world record run if they can't have all 4 players in the game, which I think is absolutely fair. So they tried to finish the round while continuing the world's longest game of grief. Yep, that's right. These guys are in the world record highest round ever, and they're playing grief with each other on round 600. When I say these guys are crazy, I mean it in the best way possible. They said they played grief because they wanted it to be a homage to the community's desire for the mode to make a return, and this made for just a hilarious end to their game. Now, I'm sure at this point you still have more questions, and I've got answers for you, my friends, as I interviewed Scott, Poomda, AJ, and Spyda to learn even more about their world record run and the game itself, as well as learn about the high round community. And honestly, I could have chatted to these guys all day. This was an absolutely awesome little interview. It's a pleasure to meet you all, man. I just want to say, first of all, huge congratulations to you guys. Like, honestly, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing.
Let me give you the build up really quick, John. Here's what happened. Okay, so it was a brisk December day, okay? And these two teams decided to come together for a superhero mashup, DC meets Marvel, okay? And give everybody the Christmas miracle they needed. The 600, the elusive 600 that people have been dying to see happen for the last month. And so we just had to do it in a 4-peat. We had to come together and make it happen for the people. We started initially to see how the team vibed by going for the 100, the 200, and the flawless, and we were gonna see how it felt. As you could tell from watching some of the VOD, the team vibes.
Oh, so, yeah, you can tell that for sure. And I just want to point out as well, you guys are such a funny team. That's what makes it so much more entertaining to watch as well. But you guys really had like a camaraderie, which I think made it really fun to watch as well. Like, you guys were just hilarious.
Thank you. Yes. We tried to put on a show, and that's where the whole grief thing came in as well. After we secured the flawless record, we decided to really have fun with it, because quads are a bit, we're all solo high round players, you know? So quads obviously is a lot less of a challenge, let's say, for us, you know? So at that point, we started just as an homage, as I might put to you in a message, to grief and how much the community wants it back. We decided to kill each other for fun.
It's such an unorthodox high round game that we got to talk about it. It's how normally in a game of zombies, once you start the game and you start playing, you're in for the long haul. You're dedicated. You can't leave the game. You can't stop playing. But Black Ops 4 introduced, server pause. I don't know if did you guys use server pause? Because I know that has
we couldn't for prolonged periods of time. I have a lot of Black Ops 4 world records and the highest rounds and stuff like that on there, and the most kills. And you couldn't stay paused. It would lag you out. So it was like you had to grind it pretty much. I mean, or else you went for luck and maybe got lucky, trying to actually get really high rounds. That's why this 4-player game, another fun statistic, is probably over triple the highest round and the most kills of any 4-player game in the history of COD, including World at War. My team from the 357 run, Jay Scrine and did the research on it and went and did all the math, and we had doubled the kills in the highest round more at our game at 357. So our math is somewhere around 1.6 to 1.7 million zombies, but we're still trying to work that out. And so there's that statistic as well.
Speaking on the topic of like the game being such a unusual high round game, let's talk about how you went around all the different errors and crashes that you get. It's so weird because I've never heard this before, but please enlighten everyone on how you went around these errors.
This is the $1 million question, isn't it?
I don't know, Scotty.
Now, this is a community thing that's been going on with all the high rounders testing different things. Do the dies crash the game? I think they've done some improvement on the dies because a lot of people are getting 200s, 300s. We ran die until 215 to help with our speed run. You only in insta kills, only in fire. That's one thing. We're still being safe with that. I've seen people get into the 300 still with dies. We were getting ready to start testing to see if we could crash the game with the dies, but it wouldn't really been a fair test at 602, because the game was already so long in. But that's one thing that's still like in the air. Does that crash the game in the high rounds? But it's definitely safe to use for a couple hundred rounds plus now.
For those watching at home that have the crazy idea that they want to try and get to around this high. So let's break it down to how long it took you to get to round 100, 200, 255. And then when you're getting into the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, how long were these rounds taking you? And how were you going about these mammoth long sessions of just completing these rounds non-stop?
It took us 2 hours, 47 minutes to get to round 100. It took us 8 hours, 24 minutes to get to round 200. I can't really say for certain what how long each round was. Up until around 450, we started timing rounds just because we noticed they were taking quite a while. So we wanted to calculate ahead of time to see how long we would have to stay up for to get to a certain point before we could pause and rest up.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember we were timing rounds around the 400 mark at approximately 10 minutes per round. And then into the lower 500s, it turned into 13 minutes per round. And then upper 500s until the 600, I think we were clocking in at 15 minutes per round.
We haven't even gotten to the coolest part that I know you're waiting to get to of how we switch from PCs to consoles.
Oh, please.
At round 469.
Please tell me.
So at this point, I have to give you the background that Poomda is a serviceman stationed in Italy. And there's quarantine there, like everywhere. It's different, So, and you got Spyda, he's in Canada, and me and AJ are in the US on the East Coast. Okay, so we're both on PlayStations. They're on PCs. We get to a problem where one of them had been airing out already. They could join on the other. They couldn't join on the PlayStation for some reason. At 467, was it, boys?
69.
64, 69.
There it is.
469. We both of them lagged out in the same round. And so they couldn't join back in, and it would have been game over. So we tried everything we could of them joining on different people. And the brilliant idea came out to, we tested with PlayStations being able to come in and leave the lobby. We had it paused, but we'd unpause. We were running a horde round so that the round didn't end. We couldn't save a zombie, because that would only give us 5 minutes before it despawned. Mm-hmm. So we kept the round alive. We tested all these different things with members of our chat in the community. And then we knew PlayStation could come in. So Spyda owned a PlayStation. So he dusted it off, got it ready to go. We bought the game for PlayStation for him. Poomda went to how many stores, Poomda?
3.
I want you to tell the story, and please tell it all, my man.
Tell it all, Poomda.
At first, it started as a joke. I was like, do I really have to go buy a PS4 right now? And then
what a joke to me.
Everybody just was quiet for 15 seconds, and I was like, oh God. And they were asking if I was serious, and then I was like, oh man, I guess. And so in the time of them resting, I was just online. I was looking at stores here in Italy. I was texting friends that I have here, and I went to 3 different stores. One was closed due to COVID. The other one didn't have one, and there was another one that it was just confusing. But so I couldn't pick one up from a store, and I thought they started logging on about 6 hours later. And I was about to give him the bad news, yo, I can't get a PlayStation. And then one of my friends last second messages me and says that I can use his PlayStation. And so we were able to get me a PlayStation, hook it up.
Big shout out to Alec, by the way.
Alec, yes. And we joined back in the game, and it worked flawlessly.
So then we knew we were really onto something. So we'd been making those calculations. We got to the double flip. We got to the 512. That was the next big, or obviously 500, 512 double flip, first in the world, for a co-op. And then the next prize, we were in the top 10. We're moving up the leaderboards and the solo boards. Let's get that 600. So we did the calculations, figured out we needed to grind this much, and then we did the 514 to the 601.
I just can't quite believe that. It's just, I've never heard a game of zombies before where it's gotten so frantic that someone has to go out and buy a new console or just get their hands on a console just to keep the game going.
That you could even join back in. Like, you couldn't join back in if you server pause out on BL4, you could never join back in. So that was the problem. It would freeze your screen. So now they give you a fighting chance, John.
So round 500 odd to 600 took you guys 24 hours, and did you all play that pretty much non-stop?
No.
Yeah. Well,
No, we
I'd
took
say we
sleepers.
we took one sleeper. I'd say we took maybe a total of 2.5 hours in breaks, but not straight. Maybe like a 15 here, 10 there. The biggest break we had was when Poomda had to get some sleep because he was already awake for about 36 hours because he was looking for the PS4 a few days ago. So then we decided that we would let him go to sleep, and us three would just hold it off until he woke back up.
And that's the beauty of playing in 4-player, right? Like, a player can literally just stand at the back and he's absolutely fine and the game can still go on. But we got to talk about the final round. What did you guys decide to do in the end as the last final hoorah of hitting round 600? What did you guys do?
ZWR rules state that if someone lags out of a game, or it's like they bled out. So we had the ability to flip the round to
One more time.
602. But while we were doing that, we decided to bring back grief. Because we all want grief back, so we could play with our viewers and have shorter games and just to have fun. We love grief, we miss grief. So to continue on with that, we decided to do a little griefing at round 602 and just have fun with it. And so we were starting to test stuff out, but it seemed like just more of a prudent idea to wrap it up and with a bang like that. And I'll let the boys explain some of the highlights on that one.
I think one of the best parts of that, like you said earlier, was during that entire 1 to 600, it wasn't just a boring, calm, hey, ammo run, hey, this or that. No, the entire time was just pure comedy and getting to know each other. Because that was our first time playing with each other.
Yeah. Really? I was going to ask, did you guys know each other prior?
AJ and I are duo partners, they're duo partners.
Yep. We just brought the
right up
together.
there on the boards together. And so we'd been in each other's streams and we'd been playing around with Let's Get a Game going. And like I said, on that brisk morning in December, it all came together. Me and AJ were going to be starting our 2-player run. Instead, we decided to go for a 4P and go after those speed runs and see how the team felt. And like I said, Christmas miracle. It's been a real ride and a blast, and we look forward to bringing more of it to you. This is what we do, and we love that people are enjoying the high round community. And it's not just us. There are so many great players out there on YouTube and Twitch. We encourage you all to go find them and support them.
And I absolutely second that. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to speak to me. I love learning about all this stuff, about the high round stuff, because I don't play high rounds too much. So learning just how technical all the different factors that make up a high round game are just so incredibly fascinating to me, because it's stuff that probably even Treyarch themselves don't even realize they've implemented in the game. Or Treyarch, if you're watching, which they might be, I mean, there's probably someone at Treyarch or Activision that are overseeing servers, and they just saw one 4-player game go into round 500 and then into 600, and they were just like, what is going on?
Yes, well, you're MrDalekJD, so they definitely know now.
They will know.
And they will know of the legends that are Into It Scott, NotAJ, Poomda, and Spyda for being the world's first 4-player round 600 plus in Cold War Zombies. Absolutely insane. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure for allowing me to showcase your incredible a zombies achievement here. So as we wrap up this video, I want you all to go in the description, go ahead and follow these guys on Twitch. If you've got a free sub, go ahead and use it, as individually they are all incredibly talented high round players, but together they have defied what can be done in Cold War Zombies, getting this round 600 world record. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, rating and subscribe, but I'll catch you in the next one.